Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, September 27th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Saturday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, one of the greatest baseball players to ever live. It's showtime, Shohei Ohtani. And on the right, our center fielder, superstar, Julio Rodriguez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Los Angeles Dodgers. Leading off for the Dodgers at DH, Tommy Edman. Batting second, playing shortstop for the Dodgers, Mookie Betts. Batting third, playing first base, Freddie Freeman. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, center fielder, Andy Pages. Batting fifth, playing left field, Michael Conforto. Batting sixth, playing right field, Alex Cole. Batting seventh, playing second base, Miguel Rojas. Batting eighth, playing third base, the hero last night, Kike Hernandez. And batting ninth, catching today for the Dodgers, Dalton Rushing. And on the mound for the Dodgers with a 4-3 record, an ERA of 3.30, it is Tyler Glasnow. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, DHing today, the best catcher in baseball, the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Sitting at 60 home runs, he's got 2 games to go to get to 2 to tie Judge, 3 to break the record. So that would assume that he would have to homer either today or tomorrow and hit another home run possibly tomorrow as well. Batting third, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Batting fifth, playing third base, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Sitting at 49 home runs. If he hits 1 in these next 2 games, he'll get to 50, and he's never done that before. It would be very cool to see Cal get to 62 or 63, and definitely Gino getting to 50. It's a big accomplishment. Batting sixth, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. Batting seventh, playing first base, Luke Raley. Batting eighth, playing shortstop in the 8-hole, Leo Rivas. And batting ninth, catching today, making his first start for the Seattle Mariners in 2025. Welcome, Harry Ford. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 6-6 record, an ERA of 3.43. It's Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. And we're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on the Dono train. And we're only 5 subs away from 22,300, so I know we'll hit that very quickly. We'll shoot for 5 to 15 subs. If we hit that, we'll go from 15 to 30. And then if we hit that, we'll go 30 to 50. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Obviously, as being a big college football fan, I did watch the Huskies and Ohio State go at it early this morning. Julio was there with Brian Wu, Cal Raleigh, and Emerson Hancock with custom jerseys. And it was close in the first half, but Ohio State imposed their will in the second half. And unfortunately, the Huskies could not get the win at home. Ohio State stays undefeated and the number 1 seed. And hopefully the Huskies will be able to rebound from that loss and have a successful rest of the year, which I think they will. And obviously we have Oregon and Penn State that's on right now. And normally I would be, doing that stream possibly over this. But again, I got it in the studio. It's been low scoring, 3-3. It's been a defensive battle, kind of like the Huskies in Ohio State in the first half. And again, it may come down to who can end up getting into the end zone for the Ducks or the Nittany Lions to end up being victorious. But we have an amazing matchup here tonight with the Dodgers and Mariners. So this will be my primary focus, but I do got the TV on here in the studio as well to see any kind of updates for any of the other baseball games that are going on that'll affect the playoff race in the American League or the National League, as well as the Ducks and the Nittany Lions. Michael in the building, what's good? Eric in the building, what's good? Cody in the building, what's good? EFC in the building, what's good? Andrea in the building, all day. Let's get it, baby. And again, a little bit of a disappointing loss, but you also have to understand, we're resting players. And again, it's kind of a weird situation to be in where you're playing against a really good team, right? And at this point, you're not really playing for anything record-wise. You're more playing for records, for Cal Raleigh to get to 62 home runs and Ty Judge and possibly get to 63, for Gino to get to 50 home runs. And there's a big list of, accomplishments, for Julio and the rest that they may be able to accomplish in these last 2 games. And again, hopefully we'll be able to get some of those checked off before this matchup is over. And we want to win, period, point blank. We gave up that big 2-run jack to Kike Hernandez, which wasn't ideal. And again, you can't win too many games in baseball, regardless on who you're going against. When you only score 2, we lost 3-2 yesterday, and we didn't hit a home run. So we got to hit 1 to 4 home runs today. If we do that, we should be in the mix. First pitch from Gilbert to Edmond, fouls it off behind the plate. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch popped up. This one stays in play. Julio is there, and that is 1 away. No fly zone is in effect. Nice job, Julio. Great to have him out there. Down goes Edmond with the pop-up. You may see Shohei Ohtani pinch hit late, or they may just give him the whole day off today. We'll wait and see. Batting second, shortstop Mookie Betts. And on deck, first baseman Freddie Freeman. And obviously, both of those players did not play yesterday, but Kike Hernandez ended up being the hero anyways. And hopefully we'll have a few heroes on our end here tonight. First pitch to Mookie Betts, high and away, 1-0 count. Blue in the building, what's good? Navis in the building, what's good? Right now, I got the Julio Sohn home jersey on today. So I worked Cal yesterday, so I figured I'd go Julio today. And hopefully we get good results by Julio and Cal. And we can find a way to win as that's popped up into right field. Dominic Canzone is there, and that is 2 away. Good start here for Seattle and Logan Gilbert. Next up, first baseman Freddie Freeman. And as you're looking at this roster, Shohei Ohtani will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Mookie Betts will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Freddie Freeman will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And we don't know if Teoscar Hernandez will make the Hall of Fame, but he's having a very, good career. And depending on how many more years he plays and how consistent he is down the road, he may be in the running for a spot as well. So again, we understand what we're going against. Pitching and obviously defense will be key. And obviously each team doesn't have some key starters in the matchup today, just like yesterday. But we're hungry and we want payback from last night. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to Freddie Freeman. University in the building, what's good? They hung around. I mean, I watched the whole game in the first half, and obviously it was very low scoring and, just like field goals and whatnot. But, at the end of the day, as you went into the second half, The defense, just couldn't, keep up with the, players, on the other end. And, when you got Jeremiah Smith, at some point or another, a 5-star wide receiver is going to get open at some point or another. They're going to get him the ball. You can double team him all you want, but eventually, guys like that ends up being the difference. And, again, a couple of bugaboos by the Huskies as well when they went for, the fake, which was terrible. And again, special teams, defense, and obviously the offensive line got kind of pushed around in the second half. They played damn well in the first half. They were right there with the Buckeyes. But again, it's just one of those things where, depth ended up being the cost of them there, as Freddie Freeman with a little dribbler in front of Julio. And that ends up being a single for Freddie. Next up, center fielder in the 4-hole, cleanup hitter Andy Paez. I did see that the Tigers clinched. First pitch to Baez, fouls it off, into right field, a 1 count. Zay in the building, what's good? Top of the first inning, 0-0 Dodgers and Mariners. Freddie Freeman with a bloop single in front of Julio just moments ago. And you got Andy Paez in the box. Fouled off the first pitch. 0-1 pitch incoming. Pitch is low and away. Should have been called a strike on the line, but we don't get the call. And it started off for the first half of the game being 50-50 right down the middle. But I think the last 3 innings, the Dodgers ended up getting the advantage on some of the calls, from the ump. And again, not to say that it would have made the final outcome different, but you just want to be able to see it as right down the middle as possible. And again, we'll see if the expanded strike zone is alive here today based on this ump on game number 2. Pitch fouled off high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Paez. Yeah, Guardians need to win and Astros if they lose. So obviously I know they're going at it with the Rangers. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. One-two pitch, low and at the knees into the dirt. And I don't think it would really bother anybody besides Astro fans that if the Astros didn't make it for 1 year, and then we ended up getting like the Guardians and the Tigers. And, we got a few teams in there that maybe aren't in there all the time, including the Mariners. It's nice to be able to get kind of a new crop of teams in the playoffs in the American League and the National League. You're still going to get your regulars, as that's hard hit right to Randy. And luckily, it was a laser right to him, and he didn't have to really maneuver, and that is out number 3. We leave one stranded there, Freddie Freeman at first. Dodgers with 1 hit early. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see if we can take a early lead. I would love for the Guardians to get in. I would rather have them in instead of the Astros. Not that we fear the Astros. It's just that, I would like to see, some teams get in there, that maybe don't get in every year. And, Jose Ramirez and, Stephen Kwan, they have had a kind of an up and down, career, usually up for Jose Ramirez and more up and down for Kwan. But again, they got some ballers over there, and we'll definitely see if they can earn it here tonight. Rangers are giving them the business, though. Obviously, you're late. All right, let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Hopefully we can get a strong start with a single, double, or home run to get us going. Batting second, DHing today, sitting at 60 home runs. He needs 2 to tie Judge, 3 to break the record from 2022. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, center fielder stud, Julio Rodriguez. And on the mound for the Dodgers with a 4-3 record and ERA of 3.30 is Tyler Glasnow. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on the dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. We're only 5 away from hitting 22,300. We're at 22,295. And just as I check, we've gained 3. So we're only 2 subs away from hitting that goal. 2 subs away from 22,300. Thank you to the 3 new subs, and we should hit somewhere between 15 and 50 tonight. And Randy with a slow dribbler towards third and stays fair and no throw, and we'll take that. And Kike Hernandez decides not to take a chance. And again, we don't usually see Randy get a hit in his first at bat. So a great sign there. And maybe we can get a little bit of magic here with the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Sitting at 60 home runs. I mean, this would be a great opportunity to hit number 61. And if he's going to beat Judge's record, you would assume he's going to have to multi-homer either today or tomorrow and then hit a home run in the other game. If not, obviously, it is possible to hit 1 today and 1 tomorrow, or nothing today and 2 tomorrow. But hopefully he can get to 62. A lot of pressure. You got 10 at-bats to get 3 home runs to break the record, 2 to tie, and 1 to come up 1 short. But still, 60 home runs is very sexy as a catcher. I don't care who you are. 0-1 pitch, inside with the slider, 90 miles an hour by Glasnow. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Yeah, not very often that we're going to get Randy. It's not like having Ichiro or even back when JP, Victor, or even D. Gordon as our leadoff hitter. And obviously he bounced around from a few teams as well. Again, it's nice to be able to count on your leadoff hitter. And Randy isn't really the prototypical leadoff hitter. Honestly, I think I would rather have like JP or Victor Robles get the role back. But again, they're going to continue to go with what's working. And as long as we continue to win most of our games, then I guess we're going to keep it the way that it is. Pitch is low and at the knees. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And hopefully Cal doesn't get intentionally walked in any of his at-bats, obviously in these last 2 games. We want to see history try to be made. 3-1 pitch, and Cal crushes that one towards first base, foul. And it jumps there into about the 5th row. Some happy Mariner and Dodger fans there. Three-two pitch and strikeout looking. Wow. And we have had that happen pretty often as of late. Punched out. Not ideal, but nothing we can do at this point. It's okay, Cal. We still love you. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch is low and away. Good eye by Julio. 1-0 count. Pitch. Takes a strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. 1-1 pitch, little slow dribbler to third. Kike Hernandez double play and gets the runner at second, but not Julio with his speed. And that is 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. And Julio slides into second, safe. And luckily, Mookie caught that. Otherwise, maybe Julio would have gambled and went to third. But we don't want to have any bugaboos in between the base paths. Obviously, Naylor trying to stretch, into third yesterday and sliding maybe 2 steps too early. And Cal not running as hard as he could have at home potentially cost us the game yesterday, where we could have been in a better position instead of being down 3-1, being at 3-2, and then, possibly tying it as Julio scampers into third base safe. And we want to make sure that we're limiting self-inflicted wounds, which we've had quite a few this year. But Julio doing a great job there, and now that gives him his second 30-30 season, 30 home runs, and he needed 2 stolen bags to get to 30, and that's one of those other records that we were talking about. Cal trying to tie Aaron Judge with 2 home runs, 3 to beat him, 1 more homer by Gino to get to 50, and Julio getting back-to-back steals, perfect. And Polo with a laser towards first base, foul. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Touchdown, Ducks. Let's go, baby. And I got Buccaneers and Eagles tomorrow morning, which will be very exciting. But we'll be doing the Mariner game instead. We'll do Mariners and Dodgers. I'll watch that game on the side. And then we'll probably end up doing Sunday Night Football after the Mariner game on the live stream. We'll probably do 2 tomorrow. And that'll end up being the Packers and the Cowboys. Obviously, we assume the Packers will win that game. But, they dropped 1 to the Browns, so you never know. And pitch is low and at the knees, and that will be a walk for Polo. Now we got runners at first and third with 2 outs. Let's see if we can end up getting on the board here early. This would be a great time for Gino to hit home run number 50, and we go up 3-0. What do you say? Good vibes only. 50th home run, 3-0 lead after what happened to us yesterday with Kike Hernandez. Let's see if we can get Gino with some history here tonight. First pitch of Gino, line drive to third, and Kike is there and says, not today. And down go the Mariners with 2 stranded. And again, at least we are getting guys on base. And like I've said in the past, sometimes, you have to leave a couple guys stranded. And then that next inning is the inning maybe when we're going to end up exploding for 1 to 4 runs, possibly in the second or the third. Not ideal, but, it is baseball. All right, let's see who's up next here as we go to the top of the second. Knotted up here at 0. Next up for the Dodgers, left fielder, the former Giant, Michael Conforto. Batting second, right fielder in the 6 hole, getting a chance to play here this Saturday evening, Alex Call. And batting third, second baseman in the 7 hole, Miguel Rojas. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. (10-3) Ducks over the Nittany Lions at a 3-3 score at halftime. So that's great for me to be able to see. I like our chances against the Eagles tomorrow. Most people have them as the best team in football besides the Buffalo Bills. But Bucks have won 5 out of the last 6 against the Eagles. So if there's one team that's kryptonite for Philadelphia, it's Tampa. And I like what I got with Baker Mayfield. Evans has a hammy, but Godwin will be back. Wirfs, it sounds like, will be back. So we'll be almost at full strength, and we'll see kind of where it goes tomorrow, and looking forward to a lot of the other matchups tomorrow on Sunday. And it looks like Rangers just beamed a Cleveland batter, and that brought in the runner from third, and now the Guardians win, and they take the final spot in the American League. The Astros are eliminated. That's awesome. And I think at this point, we love that. Congratulations to the Guardians with Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan. I'm looking forward to it. Awesome. First pitch from Gilbert to Conforto. Takes a strike looking down the middle, 0-1 count. I mean, we've already seen plenty of Houston, over the years. So, I mean, hell, even if the Rangers were able to get in over them, I would be okay with that too. I mean, obviously we have a rivalry with the Rangers as well, but obviously it's probably not as heated as Houston and Seattle. So, I'm happy that the Guardians are in. Houston can watch from the couch, and we'll see what happens here in the American League and the National League this year. 0-2 pitch. Low and into the dirt with that splitter by Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Conforto. And hopefully we can get the good Walter on the mound, and he'll limit some of the big pitches right down the middle, hopefully today. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Michael Conforto. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Conforto. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of calls we get or don't get outside of the zone. A little bit more Dodger friendly in the series so far, but hopefully it'll be as close to 50-50 as possible, as that pitch is fouled behind the bricks, behind the plate there. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Conforto. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off behind the plate to the T-Mobile sign. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Conforto. Two-two pitch. High and away. Logan looking a little wild. Not maybe as trustworthy as Wu and Kirby, but again, we did have injuries to Kirby, Gilbert, and Miller this year. So it's not like we've been fully healthy. A lot of the win-loss records and ERAs are a lot higher than we're used to. Hitting has gotten, tremendously better. Bullpen has gotten much better too, but, we're always due for a meltdown once in a while from Brash or Vargas. But overall, we just need to see our guys, if they're not going to be able to hit 10 Ks, just don't give up a bunch of home runs, get a lot of cheap pop-ups and ground outs. Hopefully the defense can help out with a couple double plays sprinkled in. And, as long as we're, in the mix, we have to try to score 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. We're going to need at least a couple homers. When we don't homer, we don't win. And, again, at the very least, we're going to need 1, but, normally 2 to 4 is usually the sweet spot for Seattle. 3-2 pitch to Conforto, and broken bat, and a line drive to Leo Rivas as Logan takes cover, and that is 1 away. Good job by Logan, ducking and getting out of the way. The last thing is we need another injury for a bat to go into one of our pitchers' faces or bodies, and a great job there by Leo Rivas with the defense. Next up, right fielder in the 6 hole, Alex Call. First pitch to Call. Inside on the line, and we actually get a call on the line. Wow, interesting. 0-1 count. Hopefully that'll continue as this game rolls on. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Alex Call, who did not play yesterday, as well as Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. Shohei may pinch hit later in the matchup if it's close, but I assume they'll take the day off with him if they can. We're in the top of the second, 0-0, Dodgers and Mariners. 1-1 pitch. Tries to paint the corner and should have been a strike, but we don't get the call. And again, a lot of these calls on the line or right on the corner, the Dodgers are getting these calls, but the Mariners are not in these first 2 games. Hopefully this will change. 2-1 pitch. That one is popped up, foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Call. National League pick is hard to call. Obviously, the Phillies and the Brewers, have to be the front runners with, the Dodgers. Cubs have had a great year, but we just don't really know experience-wise, how far they'll be able to go. Same thing for Milwaukee. They got a great record, but how deep can they really go, And obviously the Phillies and Dodgers have a little bit more experience, year in and year out going in. I feel like, the top four are obviously, the Phillies, the Brewers, the Dodgers, and then the Cubs. And then I would probably put the Padres and the Mets if, they get in, unless it ends up being the Reds, on the bottom. I think obviously the Padres are better than that last team, Mets or Reds. But again, injuries, consistency, that might be, kind of one of those issues for them, maybe not being as good as the Cubs, the Dodgers, the Brewers, and the Phillies like right now. So, but again, this is the playoffs and you never really know. Anything can happen. And even though the Dodgers haven't been very good in the second half of the season, they can turn it on at any given moment. But, based on what we've seen up to this point, you probably would have to lean Phillies and Brewers, and then obviously Dodgers, Cubs right after that. But anybody can get hot at the right time. 1-1 pitch to Rojas, in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Rojas. And the Brewers have the best record at home and on the road, if you're looking at that. So, the Brewers don't have a problem playing on the road. Most of the other teams that are playoff teams, as Rojas goes down, and we'll take that out number 3. 1 hit apiece for the Dodgers and the Mariners. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning, and let's get on the board. Let's try to get a 1 or 2-0 lead. So, again, you got a lot of teams that got these amazing records at home, but most teams on the road, including the playoff teams, are usually a couple games above 500, at 500, or a few games below 500. Milwaukee really has been the only team to typically be, 9 to 13 games above 500 on the road for almost the whole year. So that was, pretty rare. We don't have a 100-win team in back-to-back seasons. So it definitely feels like anything could happen, in the American League or in the National League. And then obviously in the American League, you have to assume the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Mariners have to be the front runners. Not to say, that the Guardians, can't have some magic, or someone else like the Tigers. But, obviously the Tigers have been reeling and haven't been playing their best baseball as of late. Guardians have been playing hot baseball as of late. And, again, once we go to the playoffs and depending on who has a bye or not, we will find out if it ends up being kind of like the college football playoff from last year. If you have too much time off, will you lose? And road teams in the last 2 to 3 years have had great records against home teams. So there hasn't been as much as a home field advantage than people would think as far as baseball playoffs in the last 2 to 3 years. Road teams have been very, very good. But with that being said, I feel like the Phillies have got the best home field advantage in the National League based off their fans. And I think Seattle's got the most home field advantage in the American League. So again, we will make the most of our games at home, and same will, be done with Philadelphia. Not to say that any of the other fan bases aren't passionate. They are. But if you're just looking at, environment and based on how the teams have been playing as of late, I think it's fair to say, Philadelphia will really feed off that crowd like they have the last few years. And Seattle's crowd, we haven't been to a playoff in 2-3 years. We haven't won the AL West in 24. It's going to be electric in Seattle at T-Mobile. First pitch to Dominic Canzone. That is high and away from Glass now. 1-0 count. .1-0 pitch, broken bat. Dominic Canzone pops up into left field, and that is 1 away. Down goes Dom. Next up, filling in for Josh Naylor, first baseman Luke Raley. And it was more kind of precautionary, with Naylor. We want to make sure that he's healthy, during the playoff push. So anytime you end up having something that just feels a little off, like Woo's pec, or if you have a leg issue or a growing issue and you just don't want to push it, it's better to be able to sit. Now, I wish we had somebody better than Luke Raley at first at this point as a backup, but, obviously we don't at the moment. 1-0 pitch, that is high and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Luke Raley. Congratulations, Jacob. I did see that. Big swing and a miss on a 2-0 pitch from Glasnow. 2 balls and 1 strike to Luke Raley. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0 Dodgers and Mariners with nobody on and 1 out. We're in the fourth quarter. Ducks up 10-3 on the Nittany Lions on the road. And a little slow dribbler throw to Freddie Freeman. And down goes Luke Raley. And that is 2 away. And I feel like Luke will hustle, but he sometimes is a liability defensively and as well in the box. He just hasn't found his timing or rhythm all year. He's had some minor injuries, but again, hasn't really been able to figure it out, which is a little odd for Luke Raley. Next up is shortstop Leo Rivas. Let's see if we can get something here out of Leo. Single, double, ground rule double, home run. He's got a lot of power for a small stature. And there we go. Leo Rivas with a nice single into right field. And I love me some Leo Rivas. He's been in the farm system for 10 years with 3 different teams. And we should have had him on the team at the beginning of the year over Dylan Moore. That was a mistake by the Mariner organization. And again, Leo doing big things. And this guy right here getting his first start at catcher in the 9-hole. Congratulations, Harry Ford. Let's go, baby. And we love Sir Harry Ford. See if we can get Harry with a single, a double, a triple, a home run. And there we go. Harry Ford with his first hit in his career. Somebody give him that ball. Get that ball for Harry. There we go. And we know that he had the sac fly that won us a game, a few games back. But again, back-to-back hits there with Rivas and Harry Ford. And again, that might be something that we see next year. At some point, Colt Jefferson will be challenging J.P. Crawford once J.P. gets a little bit older, and we got Lazaro Montes potentially to play right field for Victor Robles down the road in the future. But it's always cool to be able to see our young guys finally get called up and then, do some damage. And we know Harry's already better than Mitch Garver. So very exciting to see him get his first game as catcher and get his first base hit in a Mariner uniform. Awesome. Next up is Randy Arosarena. And let's see if Randy can follow up with his single in his first at bat with a big single, double, triple, or home run right here. Even an RBI single to make it 1-0 would be fantastic. Let's see if Randy can go 2 for 2. Normally doesn't go 2 for 2, but let's see if he can do it here today on Glasnow. 0-1 pitch, and he pops it up, and that's going to be a routine play into right field, and unfortunately he does not, and we leave 2 stranded again, but Leo and Harry show their value to this team with singles there up the middle, and hopefully in the 3rd inning will be the inning that we get on the board. Hopefully somebody secured that baseball for Harry Ford, and most of the teams are very cool about it, and that'll be a great souvenir for him. Congratulations, Harry Ford. I've always loved you. I've always rooted for you in the farm, and so happy that you're finally on the roster. You deserve it. Let's go to the top of the 3rd inning. 0-0 Dodgers and Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on the dono train. And we needed 5 subs to be able to get to 22,300. We gained 3 last commercial break, and we gained another, let's see, how many? Another 5, and now we're at 22,303. 97 to go to 22,400. Shout out to the 8 subs that we've gained so far. 42 more to go, and we'll be able to be at that 50 spot. And if we can get an update where we are on the likes with 306 in the room, hopefully we're close to 100, if not at 100 already. We should be at 100 already by now with 306 in the room. And if we're not at 100, hopefully we're in the 80s or above, so we're almost there. Let's see who's up next here for the Dodgers in the top of the third inning. Next up for the Dodgers, the hero from last night with a 2-run blast, third baseman Kike Hernandez. Coincidentally, that was my first foul ball that I got at a Mariner game versus the Dodgers in 2019. Kike Hernandez. Batting second in the 9-hole, catching today for Los Angeles, Dalton Rushing. And batting third, DHing today for Shohei Ohtani, Tommy Edman. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And if we can get all day captain and a few of the regulars in the room to help out with encouragement for the likes, I'll take care of the sub count updates. But if we can get some encouragement with the likes and the dono train, it would be greatly appreciated, especially with the likes. Getting everybody on board and on the same page will help with the algorithm, and that will initially give us more recommendations to people that are looking for Dodgers, looking for Mariners, or an MLB stream. And once we can get those people, then eventually it turns into new subs, new views, new donos, and new awesome people to be a part of this family. 1-1 pitch to Kike. That one is fouled off behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kike Hernandez. All right, Victoria says 92, 8 more to go with 3:05 in the room. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball, but I know with encouragement from the regulars, we should be able to get there. 1-2 pitch, and Kike dribbles it to third base, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Logan Gilbert to Kike Hernandez. Another touchdown by the Ducks, baby. We're going to win on the road. That's what I'm talking about. 17-3 Oregon. For all the haters that thought that Oregon had 0 chance to win on the road against Penn State. Again, there's a very good chance that we go undefeated, maybe lose a game. Obviously, I'm looking forward to playing the Huskies on the last game of the year in Seattle, which we could lose. There's no doubt about that. But for as far as the rest of the schedule is concerned, this was the hardest game on the schedule. And so far, so good with 12 minutes to go. 17-3 Ducks. Let's go. And a nice hit there by Kike Hernandez down that third base line. And a big double by Kike, who's obviously starting to heat up, here for his annual postseason push. He always gets hot. He might bat 180 to 200 during the regular season, but when you get to the end of the year and the playoffs, he just turns into a different player. Next up is Dalton Rushing. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. Too bad the Huskies couldn't have upset the Buckeyes, but again, they played like, their best effort in the first half, and it was close, just field goals. But the Buckeyes pulled away in the second half, and the Huskies did not have an answer. But the Huskies are still going to be a great team in the Big Ten. 1-0 pitch, and that pops up to Randy, and that is 1 away. Back up at the top of the order with 1 out. Kike at second. DHing, filling in for Shohei Ohtani today, Tommy Edman. All right, Libra says we're at 101. 99 more to go to get to 200. Let's go, baby. Top of the third inning, 0-0. Dodgers and Mariners with a runner at second, Kike Hernandez. And try to get Kike sleeping there. He gets in there safe from the throw from Gilbert to Rivas. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. Yeah, he played yesterday. Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts had the day off. Today, Freddie and Mookie are playing, and Shohei may come in and hit and DH late. But at the moment, they're trying to rest up some of their guys for the playoff push. 1-0 pitch to Edman. Slow dribbler towards first. And a flip to Logan Gilbert, and that is 2 away. And Kike scrambles to third safe and has a little tap up with Gino there at third as they have a little combo. Yeah, that fake field goal might have been one of the worst fake field goals I've ever seen. There was definitely a miscommunication, to that, tight end. He needed to turn around, and obviously they thought that it was a running play and he was just blocking. But yeah, I kind of knew at that point too, that at that point that, this isn't looking too good for the Huskies. And they did a great job early on, but they just couldn't get into a good enough rhythm with the offense in the second half. And then obviously the O-line and the defense kind of let them down in the second half. And, when you go against Jeremiah Smith, I don't care who you are, at some point or another, he's going to hurt you, just like he hurt the Ducks in the college football playoff last year and how he hurt you guys today. So, but I still think the Huskies are one of the sleeper teams in college football, and they should already be in the top 25 in the AP poll. And even though they lost today to the number 1 seed Buckeyes, hopefully they'll be able to get some respect and beat up some of the other teams the rest of the way. And we still got an amazing Huskies-Ducks matchup in Seattle, last game of the regular season, that you guys could win. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike, looking low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mookie Betts. Betts in the box. Logan Gilbert still on the mound. It looks like Penn State just scored. 17-10. Now it's becoming a shootout. That was quick. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mookie Betts. And again, I had a feeling that, after the field goal party was done in the first half, the touchdowns were going to be rampant in the second half. And we know the Ducks and Penn State, got pretty good defense, and, may not be as good as like Texas or Ohio State defense, but, for the most part, pretty good, and a lot of athletes on both sides. And we'll see who ends up finding their way to victory lane, hopefully Oregon. Big swing and a miss. Great nasty pitch there by Logan Gilbert. And that sits down Mookie Betts for out number 3. Beautiful pitch there on that splitter. Mookie had no answer for that one. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. We've gotten guys on base in the first and the second. We've left 2 stranded twice, right? So let's get somebody to come home. So whether that be a big home run, to get us on the board 1-0 or 2-0, or a back-to-back hit type of situation, unless we end up getting walked or plunked. We'll see. But we have the perfect lineup here in the bottom of the 3rd to get going. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a K, sitting at 60 home runs, looking for home run number 61, big dumper Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 0 for 1, an absolute stud with a 30-30 season, which seems like he can do with his eyes closed, and he's got the talent to do 40-40 or 50-50 one day, especially if he gets off to a faster start in the first half of the year, which he hasn't been able to do in his first 4 years of his career. But I love this player. He's been great for us in the second half of the season, offensively and defensively. And honestly, there's not another center fielder in the league I would rather have than Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 0 for 0 with a base on ball, second baseman Jorge Polanco. Could Polo end up getting an unexpected home run? He is due for another. Let's go Polo. And Glasnow on the mound with a 4-3 record, an ERA of 3.30. And Glasnow 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 1 K, 26 pitches, 15 strikes, 3.22 ERA. And then Logan, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks, 46 pitches, 31 strikes with a 3.35 ERA. All right, let's go, baby. Let's go, Cal. Let's see if we can end up getting home run number 61, baby. I would love for him to tie Judge. I mean, nothing would make me happier than him tying Judge, or let alone beating him and getting to 63. It's already a great accomplishment being at 60. But when you got 2 games to go and you got 15 at-bats to try to get 2 to 3 home runs, if anybody can do it, it would definitely be someone in the Cal Raleigh, Kyle Schwarber, Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge realm. And those 4 players have been amazing this year. Shohei will win the MVP in the National League, but Schwarber is a G. And we don't know about Judge or Cal, or if it'll be a co-MVP. Both are deserving. And, we'll see what happens here tonight. 0-1 pitch, high and away after taking a strike looking with the curve by Glasnow. 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And we definitely need someone to hit a home run to get us on the board to kind of get the momentum going. 1-1 pitch fouled off behind the plate to the Atmos reward sign with the T-Mobile bricks. 1 ball and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. And once we hit that first home run, that second one is usually not that far behind. I mean, his batting average, leading the league. I mean, he's in a category of all his own. We know how great Shohei is with pitching and hitting. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Cal Raleigh on strikes, and that is 1 away. And again, there's a reason, why there is a little bit of controversy, with batting average and still hitting over 50 home runs and, slugging and OPS, and Cal is leading with home runs and ribbies, but he's a catcher. So you have to look at it on that end as well. So both have a fair argument, on who deserves it. And honestly, it should be co-MVP this year. It would be a travesty to let one of them not get the award. And obviously Yankee fans want Judge only, and Mariner fans want Cal only. But the smart thing to do would be to have both of them win based on how they're doing this year. Leaving one out would be a travesty, in my opinion. 1-0 pitch. And a line drive right up the middle. And throw to first. Wow, what defense there. And normally a base hit for anybody, but Miguel Rojas, ends up diving on the ground, jumping back up like Spider-Man, throwing it to first, and getting Julio, even though he was sprinting, down the first base line. What amazing defense by Miguel Rojas. Wow. I can appreciate great defense no matter where it's at. That definitely reminded me of like J.P. Crawford. Nice job, Rojas. And obviously you got that amazing defensive photo, him flying in the air on cue. Next up is Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. First pitch takes a strike looking right down the middle to Jorge Polanco. 0-1 count. Come on, Polo. You're due. This would be a great homer situation to go 1-0 Seattle. Yeah, but again, you have to look at the batting average and the slugging and the OPS and hitting over 50 home runs, leading the league and batting average, for a player like Judge. It's like so many of these categories are important, and then Cal's leading in the home runs and the ribbies, which is important. And he's a catcher and he plays on his knees defensively. He's a great leader. So, I mean, there's different reasons why, obviously, both of these guys are deserving of the award. Regardless if, a lot of our fan bases, Yankees and Mariners, are wanting our guy to win it by themselves, which is understandable as well. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. The difference also, too, is if Cal wasn't on this team, the Mariners don't make the playoffs. If Judge isn't on the team, they might still make it. So that is kind of the difference also, if you think about it, as down goes Polo there on strikes for out number 3. And again, we've had quite a few guys get struck out looking. And again, I'm getting a little sick and tired of it. I mean, obviously striking out swinging is brutal, but we've had a lot of guys striking out looking lately, and hopefully that will change. Let's go to the top of the 4th inning with a shocking 0-0 tie. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes. 100 on the dono train. We're still looking for our first dono on our dono train, and we're looking for 5 to 15 subs. Once we hit that, we'll go from 15 to 30. Now let's take a quick peek to see how many more that we've acquired. We've gained 8 up into the last commercial break, and looks like we've added on a couple more. 4 more subs, so we have 12 so far for the day. 93 to go to 22,400. Shout out to all the new subs. Shout out to all of the regulars, the mods, and people watching from all over the globe. And shout out to Dodger fans as well. Out of all the fan bases that we've watched games with, obviously my dad being a Dodger fan and me having a good relationship with Valhalla, who is the #1 Dodger live streamer on YouTube, as well as myself being for the Seattle Mariners. That might have something to do with it as well, but it's always a pleasure. Every once in a while, you're always going to get an ornery fan of any fan base, but collectively, overall, most Dodger fans are very intelligent, very passionate, and again, they love their team, and they're just like us. And shout out to the Dodger fans that are in the room, that are watching today, as well as the ones that hopped in yesterday when Valhalla had the day off. Top of the 4th inning, 0-0 Dodgers and Mariners. Next up is Freddie Freeman. And we'll end up doing, some NFL streams, obviously, when the Mariners have the week off. But if I were to do games of any other team, it would be the Dodgers. So obviously with the Dodgers playing in the wild card, if the Mariners are off in that 5-day period, we'll probably do a Dodger game or two to kind of fill in the gaps throughout the week. And I'm very familiar with the team. I follow them very closely since my dad has been a fan since the 50s. So I won't be able to miss a step, so to speak. We'll be right on it, just like we are here with Mariners streams. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Freeman. TJ in the building. What's good? One pitch. Low and at the knees again with the slider. 87 miles an hour off-speed pitch from Gilbert. 2 balls and 1 strike to Freddie Freeman. Yeah, train whistles are always, kind of calming. I like to be able to have certain kind of noise, when I sleep as well, whether it be rain, heavy rain, thunderstorms, a snowstorm with the wind. But I preferably like beach waves. It's something that I started doing like 2 years ago. And now it's like I can't even really sleep. Having the TV on, I used to do that, but I felt that it kind of disrupted my sleep sometimes with the commercials and whatnot, and just having the brightness of the TV on. So I've decided to kind of, go away from that and get a deeper sleep. And usually that's done with, waves or with rain. And if you haven't done it, I would highly recommend it. YouTube's got plenty of channels that you can listen to that will go for 8 to 10 hours straight with rain or with waves on the beach. And you'll sleep very smoothly most of the time. Next up is Pages, and we need to make sure we're limiting the walks that we're getting on players on the Dodgers as Freddie goes to first. First pitch is fouled off high and away by center fielder Andy Pages. Top of the 4th inning, 0-0 Dodgers and Mariners. Ducks up 17-10 against the Nittany Lions. Penn State has the ball with 7 minutes left in the 4th. And that would have been the stream that I would have done if I didn't do this one here today. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Pages. Oh, my dad would absolutely love that if it ended up being Mariners and Dodgers. Yeah, and you never know. If it doesn't happen this year, it's definitely possible it could be a matchup in the future, 100%. Because you don't know how good Milwaukee is going to be year in and year out, but you do know the Padres, Dodgers, and Phillies are going to be in the mix every year unless they have some major injuries with their star players. So, but nice to be able to see, a few new teams kind of, make it in, Brewers and Cubs, and they're likable and whatnot, and we'll see kind of how things play out. No way, really? Roberto Clemente. Wow, I couldn't even imagine. I mean, for me, it's Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr., and Sandy Koufax. Those were the, three, famous players that I met, back in that day on one of the card shows that we went to where we met Koufax. Willie Mays was supposed to show up and I would have gotten his autograph and met him, but he canceled. So, and a nice double play there. Throw to first. Got him. There we go. Great defense there by the Mariners. And Pages grounds out into the double play. Freeman out at second, Pages out at first. And that's exactly what we needed from our defensive unit. Great job, Seattle. Next up for Logan Gilbert, the former Giant in San Francisco, left fielder Michael Conforto. But being able to shake the hand and meet Roberto Clemente, I couldn't even imagine. That would have been amazing. Koufax was a gentleman, very soft-spoken, very cool guy. Ken Griffey Sr. was probably one of the nicest humans I've ever met in my life. Ken Griffey Jr. was shy, when I was 7 and he was 19 as he was coming up into the big leagues, but he definitely cared about his fans even back then, taking the time to spell his whole name. And if you look at anything that Ken Griffey Jr. has ever signed, back when he was a rookie and even now, with like Upper Deck and these card companies, he's got one of the sweetest signatures in all of sports. He takes the time to spell Ken Griffey Jr., not doing something like LeBron James where it's like LJ23, which I think is incredibly lazy. Popped up, but I know some of these guys signed thousands of autographs, but it's always nice when you get someone that takes pride in their signature and their name. And that is popped up by Conforto, and that is out number 3. Let's go, baby. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. But I will never, ever forget meeting Koufax when I was 10, and that was my dad's hero growing up. Besides like Don Drysdale and a few others, that were back in that era. And then obviously meeting Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. when I was in first grade, and knowing that, he was going to be a Hall of Famer before he even played his first game, like just knowing what Ken Griffey Jr. was going to mean to people in Oregon and Washington with the video game on Super Nintendo, having his own candy bar, having his, first shoe. He was the first athlete that had a shoe through Nike. Obviously, he made baseball cool with the backwards hat. And, I got a lot of memories of playing, backyard baseball or baseball at the middle school or elementary school, just calling up all the friends and, getting a little pickup baseball game going. And a lot of that was due to a lot of the guys that were playing back then that we wanted to be like Ken Griffey Jr. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and let's see if we can get on the fucking board. What do you say? We're still looking for our first dono on our dono train, and hopefully we are getting close to 200 likes. We're at 316 in the room. Leading off for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. We know you can do it defensively. Let's see if we can get home run number 50 here from Gino. Good vibes only. Batting second, right fielder Dominic Canzone, and batting third, first baseman Luke Raley. Let's go, Gino. Even getting a solo dinger for home run 50 could give us the momentum that we need. And Haney is coming in now for Glasnow, so Glasnow's day is done and pitched, twice as many innings as we saw yesterday. And again, you're going to see, certain individuals come in and come out, and we'll see what we can get here on Haney. Oh, one pitch, low and at the knees with a infraction on that first call by the ump. No balls and 2 strikes from Andrew Haney to Eugenio Suarez. One-two pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Andrew Haney to Eugenio Suarez. Big swing and a miss from Gino there. You're not going to get home run 50 at that swing. And that is one away. Next up is Dominic Canzone. First pitch is high and inside by Andrew Haney. 1-0 count. Let's go, Dom. We could use a Dom bomb here. Somebody's got to be a hero. 1-0 pitch, right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. Ducks up 17-10 against the Nittany Lions. Penn State's got the ball with 4:33 left in the fourth, and I'm hoping that the Ducks will be able to hang on. One-two pitch. Yeah, Vin Scully and Dave Niehaus were amazing. You know, it's always great to be able to have guys like that. Harry Carey for the Cubs, Dave Niehaus for the Mariners, Vin Scully for the Dodgers, and Vin was the best storyteller out of all storytellers, period. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Judah in the building. What's good? 3-2 pitch. Low and away, and we'll take a walk. There we go. Dom to first. And next up is Luke Raley. Hopefully Luke can find a way to bunt, get walked, or maybe get hit by a pitch as long as he doesn't get injured, find a way to get to first. His timing has not been very good in 2025, so if he gets anything, it would be a miracle. 205 average, 4 homers, 19 ribbies. I mean, hell, even at this point of the season, you know, you would think Dylan Moore, Donovan Solano, Rowdy Tellez would even have a better chance of getting a hit than Luke at this point. Sad to say, but it's true. 1-0 pitch. Low and away. But Luke can take a walk with the best of them. You know, he'll have the patience. And I like that he hustles, but his defense has gone down a little bit with the lack of playing time. He's been a little bit of a liability offensively and defensively just because he hasn't been able to get enough playing time this year. And then when he hasn't really lived up to the billing, so to speak. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike to Luke Raley. But again, if Dylan Moore can get hot and then get cold, and then Donovan Solano can be terrible and then actually be average, you know, down towards the end of the year, I mean, you would assume that Luke might be able to figure it out. But and Luke, line drive, and there we go. It's a miracle. Luke Raley with a big hit and sliding safe for a double. Let's go. That one deserves the trident. And I've been waiting on Luke to get a hit, it feels like, for a month. And again, finally getting a chance to get a hit because, honestly, he hasn't been reliable. The best thing that you could ask for Luke is normally him getting walked, you know, or him bunting and trying to get on or move a guy over, or if he gets plunked, you know. But to actually get a double, let's go. I mean, I would have been happy with a single. But now we got runners at second and third, and even guys that are not reliable sometimes end up being a hero. Nice job, Luke Raley. About damn time. Next up is Leo Rivas. Let's see if Leo can get a single, double, triple, home run, ground rule double, something special. On deck, Harry Ford. Let's go. This could be the inning where we finally get on the board. Let's go. And I like having Leo and Harry back to back. This could be something special here. $17-10 Ducks, 2:40 left with the Nittany Lions with the ball. Big swing and a miss by Leo Rivas, who's got great baseball IQ. Absolutely love him. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. And I'm definitely looking forward to the Eagles-Buccaneers at 10 a.m. tomorrow. But we will be doing the Mariner game, which will be early tomorrow at noon-ish and whatnot. So I'll watch the end of the Eagles-Bucks game while we're doing Mariners. kind of like what I'm doing here with Penn State and Oregon. And then after the Mariner game is done, we'll probably do Sunday Night Football as well, so we can get caught up with all the NFL fans on the channel. And that'll be the Packers and the Cowboys. You would assume Green Bay will win with Micah returning to Dallas, but Green Bay did lose to Cleveland, so you never know last week. But you would assume Green Bay will get back on track and mollywop the Cowboys, but, we'll wait and see. Pitch is low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Too bad that Buccaneer-Eagle game, both of us 3-0, isn't on Sunday night. That would have been a better choice. We got runners at second and third in the bottom of the fourth with 1 out. 3-2 pitch to Leo. And Leo fouls it back into the T-Mobile bricks. Count still remains 3 balls, 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Let's go, Leo. I've been rooting for him for so many years. Three-two pitch. And Leo pops it up, and it stays in foul territory. Freeman is there. And unfortunately, that's 2 away. It's okay, Leo. I still love you. And Harry Ford already got his first base hit. And let's see if he can get another one. Let's see if he can get his first RBI. That's not a sac fly that he had to win us a game a few weeks back. Let's see if we can get a clean RBI right here by Harry Ford. Now, best case scenario, Harry Ford hits a 3-run blast, and then he'll become mayor. But at this point, he's not really a home run hitter type of hitter, more of a singles type hitter. I think at this point, we would be completely happy with an RBI single and bringing that runner home from third. And if he ends up getting a double, it'll be 2-0. Rayleigh would be able to make it home from second if we can get Harry with a double. Let's go, Harry. First round draft pick in 2021. It took him a little bit longer than Ben Williamson, Cole Young, and some of the others to get called up, but he's here now. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike outside of the zone. And again, these pitches that are outside of the zone that are called strike, not very much consistency, but that one was a strike there. 1 ball and 1 strike to Harry Ford. 1-1 pitch. Low and at the knees, takes a strike looking there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Harry Ford. Yeah, I think with the Dodgers, and my dad's been a Dodger fan since the 50s, and I think most people would agree, injuries have been brutal for them at the pitcher position for the last few years. But really, the main bugaboo could be pitching and defense this year. Like, they have enough hitting as Harry Ford strikes out, and we're still knotted up at 0. The Mariners have been able to get 2 runners on almost every single inning. We got 4 hits, but we're still not able to get that last hitter to get us that home run or that RBI. But the Dodgers can always hit, and again, when they played the Yankees last year, people thought, well, maybe the Yankees pitching and defense would be better, but guess what? It wasn't. And the Dodgers offense was great. Their defense was better. Pitching was better. And we know what happened last year. Dodgers ended up winning the World Series. But this year, the second half of the season hasn't been as kind to Los Angeles. And obviously, you've seen the Phillies and the Brewers and the Cubs generally play pretty consistent and actually be a threat. So, normally it's like the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Phillies. But this year, the Dodgers and the Padres are kind of reeling a little. Not to say that they can't turn it on once the playoffs start. They can, but it kind of feels like it could possibly be someone other than the Dodgers or the Padres. And I don't think we have a lot of faith in the Mets or the Reds if they get in. It kind of feels like, okay, if the Cubs and the Brewers are going to do it, then they're going to have to fight adversity because they haven't really been able to go on deep runs year in and year out. The inexperience might come back to bite them. And then with the Phillies, they are the team that have been there with the Dodgers and the Padres, but they've just been more consistent with their pitching and their defense and hitting. So something's got to give, and it's going to be a fantastic playoff run for the National League and the American League. And the Astros are out, the Guardians are in, so we're happy about that. And we'll see what happens as we move forward. Let's go to the top of the 5th inning. 0-0 Dodgers and Mariners. Top of the 5th inning. Let's see who's up next here for Los Angeles. Next up, right fielder, 0 for 1 with a K, Alex Call. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, second baseman Miguel Rojas. And batting third, 1 for 1, the hero from last night, third baseman Kike Hernandez. How close are we to 200 likes? And we're still looking for our first dono on the dono train halfway through the matchup, which is a little odd. But hopefully we'll get someone to start the dono train so others will follow. Let's take a look at the sub count to see where we are at. We had 12 gained last time I checked, and then we gained another 5. So now we only need 88 to go. We've gained 17 subs so far. See if we can get to 30 before the game ends. And I see that Penn State and Oregon are about to be tied up. It's going to be a thriller. First pitch in there to Miguel Rojas, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Oregon will have, 30 seconds to get into field goal range for Atticus Sappington, possibly. There we go. I knew someone would help us. Appreciate you, Sarah. Stacks. Racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. We're at 5. 95 to go on the dono train. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support, and that will lead to others showing love as well. Every dollar will help, taking care of my pup, as well as just regular things like the internet fee and the streaming fee that I have to pay monthly. So that way I can continue to do this dream for y'all every single day. 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike to Rojas. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Rojas. One-two pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Miguel Rojas. University, you know it, man. Again, when you end up having a relationship, with a pup, it really does change your life for the better. And that one gets past Canzone on a weird hop right there. And that's going to be a stand-up double for Miguel Rojas. Next up is Kike Hernandez. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Let's go, Logan. Finish strong. Yeah, I mean, it's the most important thing in my life. I live my life, for her. And, I've had her since she was 6 weeks old. And, anytime, anybody ends up having like depression or anxiety or they're going through mental health challenges, being able to have that comfort, and being able to have that love, day in and day out, really saved my life. Like, no doubt, who knows if I'm still here, based on the things that have happened to me the last, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive, and I'm happy to have such a loving pup that, makes my life a joy, just like you guys do every single day. One-two pitch is incoming as he steps off the mound to attempt a fake throw there to Rojas at second. Top of the 5th. Runner at second with 1 out. 0-0 Dodgers and Mariners still knotted up. And a big swing and a miss there by Kike Hernandez, and that is 2 away. And also, too, having a dog of that type of breed, forced me to exercise even more than maybe I wanted back then. And, I've lost 95 pounds, and I've been able to keep it off for the last 2 years. And, if you would have told me years ago that I would be walking 5 miles a day, 7 days a week, and doing 3 walks a day, morning, afternoon, and night, I would say you're lying, you're crazy. But again, once you get into a good routine, whether that's going to the gym or walking with your pup, the pounds will, come off as long as you're eating healthy, which I've cut back on fast food and soda and things like that as well. And, if you have discipline, you can change your life. And again, it definitely has been the greatest change in my life in the last 2 years. Top of the fifth, 0-0 Dodgers and Mariners. Next up is Dalton rushing. And that's the end of the fourth quarter. The Ducks and Penn State are going into overtime. What a game, especially being at 3-3 at half. You knew that the touchdowns were going to happen. And rushing, line drive, and gone. And just like that, rushing gets a big homer on Logan Gilbert here late in his start. And now we're down 2-0 again to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Nice job there by Dalton rushing, giving the electricity for my dad and Dodger fans across the globe. Not ideal when you give up a home run to a 9-hole hitter, but again, it is one of those things. We need our offense to wake up. And again, with not having, our strongest lineup and having some guys either resting like Naylor or, not having the best lineup overall, it definitely hurt us yesterday. And Dodgers are taking full advantage yesterday and today. And it doesn't really matter besides pride at the end of the day, record-wise. It's not going to make a difference if we win all 3 or lose all 3. But, obviously when you go 17-1 in your last 18 games and then you drop one yesterday, you want to get back on the win column. But again, Dodger pitching has been good. Mariners have not been able to get home runs, and 50 to 51% of our total runs are home runs, which means when we don't homer, we don't win. And unfortunately, we didn't homer yesterday. Kike Hernandez did, and they won. And now, obviously, another home run here for another Dodger player. We're going to definitely need someone to step up to homer for us here. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Edman. No ball, 2 strikes from Gilbert to Edman. 0-2 pitch, low and away, missing the strike zone by about 3 feet there. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tommy Edman. I'm doing good. How are you? One-two pitch. And really the only thing that you could say that, something to play for is that if we end up getting a Mariner-Dodger World Series and the Dodgers win 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3, then they're going to have home field advantage based off this series. So obviously if we end up having that matchup, the Dodgers will get the advantage unless the Mariners come back today and also win tomorrow. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Tommy Edman, and that is out number 3, but not after a big home run by Dalton rushing. We had one from Kike Hernandez yesterday, and if you can get home runs from your 7, 8, and 9-hole hitters, it really does make all the difference, in your lineup. And hopefully we'll be able to match that energy before this game ends. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, sitting at 60 home runs. DHing big dumper Cal Raleigh. And batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. 0 for 2. We need you to go yard, so it's at least 1 for 3. Tridents up. Let's go M's. How many chickens you got? I used to go on, one of my walks in the, local neighborhood, and there was a younger couple in their 30s that had like 8. and they would always greet me and Paisley. Paisley would, kind of growl, but the chickens would like talk to us, and they all had names and whatnot, and they were chilling in the backyard. They had like a big, kind of like chicken house, hen house, but that was like way far back, and into the property and whatnot. But it was kind of funny that whenever they would see us, they would just come a running, and it wouldn't just be like one or two, it would be like all of them. And it's always crazy when you can see, things like that in like a residential neighborhood, not necessarily like in a farm neighborhood, like in the burbs. All right, let's go to the bottom of the fifth here. Haney is still in the matchup. And first pitch to Randy Arostarina in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Let's go, Randy. 0-1 pitch. Slow dribbler to third. And that is safe. And that's a second hit that has been a slow dribbler towards Kike Hernandez. And we'll take it. Again, that's not something that we're used to out of Randy, but hopefully, that won't be the last hit. He's already 2 for 3 today, so he's doing his job. What about the others? Next up is big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And he gets the chance to bat from the right-hand side, which would be maybe a little bit different from all those cuts that he was taking from the left-hand side with right-handed pitchers. First pitch, big swing and a miss by Cal. 0-1 count. Let's go. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 13. Dude, that's awesome. And you got the rooster, Poncho. Nice. Hell yeah. Animals are really smart. It's not just like cats and dogs and whatnot. That's awesome. You have that loyalty and that bond with them. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike with a pitch inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. 2-1 pitch, high and away. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Three-1 pitch. And that one is popped up in right field, foul. Count still remains now 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full with a runner at first, Randy, with no outs here in the bottom of the 5th. We're down 2-0 to the Dodgers, and we just got to get on the board. Who's going to be that guy that ends up hitting, that first home run for the Mariners, or if we can actually find a way to go back to back to back. But obviously easier said than done, and especially, with not our strongest lineup against the Dodgers in these first 2 games has hurt us as well. Appreciate that, Miguel. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Appreciate you. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0 Los Angeles. Haney on the mound, big dumper, Cal Raleigh in the box. 3-2 pitch, and Cal pops it up, and that should be an easy out here, you would assume. And it drops. Wow. And they did that on purpose. And they get the force out there at second, and that is 1 away. So they get Randy, the faster runner, out there at second. That was all calculated by Rojas. And they keep Cal at first. All right, next up is Julio Rodriguez. And we know with 1 swing, he can tie this game up. And if there was ever a time that we needed a fucking home run, it's right now. Let's go, J-Rod. First pitch, high and away. Probably should have been called ball, but they give him the strike call. Right on the corner. 0-1 count. Haney on the mound. Cal Raleigh obviously at first. Julio in the box. 0-1 pitch. And here we go. There we go, baby. A nice hit into right field. And now we got runners at first and second for the Mariners. Cal at second. Julio at first. And now we need that magic. That Jorge Polanco RBI or that big home run to get us that 3-2 lead. Easier said than done against the Dodgers here in these last two games. Yeah, but, you know, again, we're not playing for really anything in this series. Both teams have already made the playoffs, so both teams are not playing, you know, the strongest lineups, and they're not playing their players as long as they normally do. So, you know, which is a little rare, you know, since this is our only meeting with the Dodgers at the end of the year. But, you know, obviously both teams have clinched, you know, either a bye like ourselves or playing in the wild card for the Dodgers. So at this point, it's for pride, and it's also for record breaking, you know, moments like Cal possibly getting to 62 or 63 and Gino getting to 50 home runs. We had Julio steal 2 bags to join the 30-30 club. So, you know, there might be a few stats that the Dodger players are trying to pad, you know, before this series is over as well. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. Ricardo with a 5er. Appreciate you. Stacks, Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. Another $5 holla on the Dono train. And I'll say, I've said it once and I've said it again, you know, out of all the fan bases that we've had fans come in, you know, whether it be through Valhalla, you know, having a day off or just coming through, you know, for a stream that I've done, Dodgers in the past. Dodger fans are by far the best out of a visiting fan group that have come into the streams. Not even close. You guys are great. 2-2 pitch incoming from Andrew Haney. And slices it down third base, foul. Off-speed pitch with a slider, 80 miles an hour by Andrew Haney. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second with 1 out. Dodgers are up 2-0, and we've been able to have runners on, you know, this whole game. You know, in almost every inning, we've had a guy or 2 on base that we've left stranded, but we just haven't been able to get that home run or that third guy to knock that guy in. Polo, and it is gone! I called it, baby. Here we go. And Jorge Polanco does it, baby. We knew he was due for the home run. You saw the photo, and there it is. 3-2 Mariners. We're ahead on the Dodgers, baby. Better late than never. Bringing that electricity. Jorge Polanco. Let's go. Tridents up. Go M's. And it kind of felt like we mentioned, you know, that Polo was going to be due today for a homer, and he delivers. And again, if you're going to get a home run, especially when we didn't hit one yesterday and we want one today, you know, a solo dinger may not be enough if we only hit 1 home run. So if we hit 1 home run and it's a 3-run jack, then you know that, you know, others more than likely will follow. Let's go, baby. 3-2 M's. Hell yeah. Oh, 1 pitch to Gino, and he's trying his damnedest out there to hit home run number 50. You know, Gino's been hitting you with a lot of these Happy Gilmore golf swings, and I know how desperately he wants to get to 50 home runs. You know, again, he's been at 49, but take your time. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Come on, Gino. And that's exactly what we needed to, you know, be on pace with this Dodger team, which is not going to quit one bit, you know. And again, even though there might not be anything position-wise on the line for either team, you know, we can both play for pride. And obviously, Kike Hernandez ended up being the hero yesterday, and obviously Dalton Rushing was trying to be the hero today. Polo's trying to be our hero as Gino hits it into right field, but that stays in play back at the warning track, and that is 2-1. A nice job by Polo doing his job. And let's see if we can get maybe a unexpected Dom bomb here by Dominic Canzone. There we go. Ducks with the touchdown. We love that. After the Nittany Lions went up 24-17, 24-24 in a battle, Ducks and Nittany Lions. It's going to be the Ducks' hardest game of the year, besides the Huskies in Seattle for the last regular season game. I got it recorded on my DVR, and I'm obviously trying to keep up with everything that's going on. 0-1 pitch. Low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. Well, be careful how you speak to me. This might be the last comment you see on the channel. You know, Dodger fans have been pretty good, but you might be the first that we have to give the boot. And, you know, there it is. Bottom of the 5th, 3-2 Seattle. Haney on the mound, Dominic Canzone in the box. I mean, if you didn't grow up with any kind of respect, this channel will not be for you. Little slow dribbler. And that should be out number 3 with a strong throw from Haney to Freddie Freeman. And not after the damage is done there by Jorge Polanco with a big 3-run jack to get us back into this game. And let's go to the top of the 6th inning with a Seattle 1-run lead. Tyler in the building, what's good? Next up for the Dodgers, 0 for 2 with a K. Shortstop Mookie Betts. Evans is coming in for Logan Gilbert, so we finally get Logan Evans, who got called up, obviously this morning, which is great. Batting second, first baseman Freddie Freeman, and batting third, center fielder, cleanup hitter Andy Pajes. Great to see Logan Evans on the roster. You know, if you're going to have Emerson Hancock on the roster, you should have Logan Evans. And we already know Casey Legomina does not deserve to be on the team. Five innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts with 1 walk with 75 pitches for Logan Gilbert. And now we get Logan Evans to come in for his first opportunity to pitch in the pen, getting called up from the AAA Tacoma Rainiers, which is awesome. Caleb Ferguson isn't very good for us either. I mean, we got quite a few guys that I don't trust, but, you know, it is what it is. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. Logan Evans, 1 ball, 1 strike. And Mookie hits it to Gino, throw to first to Luke Raley, and that is 1 away. Next up is first baseman Freddie Freeman. No, Nails has the day off. They pulled him, because they were kind of trying to be precautionary and whatnot, and he's day to day. So I would assume that you'll be able to see him at some point. If they don't play him tomorrow, he'll be obviously in the playoff run. And a little slow dribbler there from Freddie Freeman, and that is 2 away. And the Oregon Ducks just beat the Penn State Nittany Lions on the road. Let's go, baby. Yeah, I think he had a little bit of a groin that was, something that was, a little tightness that was precautionary. And then, just like Brian Wu's pec, nothing serious, just trying to rest up. But obviously not having Naylor play offense and defense at first is not ideal, especially when it's Luke Raley. But, it is what it is. Walk-off interception, baby, after missing the 2-point conversion. And that's exactly what we needed, baby. Go Ducks. A lot of haters said that they had 0 chance to win. It was going to be a harsh environment, and we knew that. And, we'll see how many wins they get this year. They might be making a deep playoff run, just like they did last year. Go Ducks. 0-2 pitch, fouled off by Pajes from Logan Evans. No balls and 2 strikes. Here in the top of the 6th with nobody on and 2 outs. Pitch is high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Andy Pajes. Come on, baby. One-two pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Andy Pajes. Luckily, I got the game on my DVR, so obviously I got to watch the whole out as I was prepping for this particular stream, but I've been watching on and off, focusing on the Dodger game and Mariner game more, so it will be nice after this is over later tonight. I can watch the second half and overtime, double overtime in entirety, and enjoy this Big Ducks win. Two-two pitch from Evans. And jams him. Little slow dribbler to first. And a little flip to Logan Evans. And that is out number 3. And this has been a successful outing from promoting Logan Evans from AAA Tacoma Rainiers onto the roster for Casey Legomina. And that was a great sign to see. All right, we've regained the momentum. And let's see who is up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2. First baseman, Luke Raley. Batting second, 1 for 2. Shortstop, Leo Rivas. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a K, catcher Harry Ford. And then Dreyer is coming in to relieve Haney. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And hopefully we can limit the production from Jack Dreyer. Trier on the mound. Luke Raley in the box. Appreciate that, Ricardo. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, and Raley pops it up. Should be a routine play. And Pajes is there, and that is 1 away. Next up is shortstop Leo Rivas. First pitch from Dreyer is high and inside, 1-0 count. And Leo's got incredible patience in the box. See if we can get another base knock here. One 0 pitch, high and away, paints that corner and gets the call. 1 ball and strike from Dreyer to Rivas. One-two pitch from Dreyer, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Let's go. Two pitch fouled off low and at the knees by Rivas. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-2 Mariner lead. Dreyer on the mound, Rivas in the box. Three-two pitch. Big swing and a miss, and a big nasty punch out there by Dreyer. Giving a little bit of electricity and excitement for the Dodger fans there. And that is 2 away. Next up is catcher Harry Ford, making his first start for the Mariners at catcher in 2025. 3 more likes to 200. Let's see if we can get to 300 before the stream ends. And I mean, it literally takes 1 second to hit that like button. And as long as we have 5 or 10 people in the room, helping out with that, we should be able to hit that number. No, you don't want Cal as a leadoff hitter. Absolutely not. You move the guys that are good from the 4 or the 5 spot to the 2. So that way at the end of the game, if it ends up being 9-1-2, you get that one last at bat by your star player, whether that be like a Schwarber, a type like that. Now there are going to be guys like, that are anomalies like Shohei Ohtani that can lead off at DH, but he's not normal. He is a 1 of 1. So for the others that are good players, a lot of them have shifted from the 4 and the 5 hole to the 2 or the 3, so they can get that last at bat strategy wise. But no, you would definitely not want Cal leading off. That would be probably just as bad as Randy, if not worse. That would not be good. You would want someone like JP, who's familiar with leading off, or Victor Robles to lead off. But obviously he hasn't really gotten to a full swing of things and rhythm just yet. 0-2 pitch, low and away. But those would really be the only guys that you would want to lead off. And then obviously if Cole Young was still in the starting lineup, that could be another option to lead off, for that type of hitter, singles kind of hitter. But I mean, hell, even Leo Rivas would be a better option to lead off, than Randy in most games. But he doesn't play every day. So, but if they feel that Randy works as a leadoff hitter, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. then they're going to keep it that way. But he's not as productive as we would like as a leadoff hitter. I mean, today he's been good, but, it's kind of something left to be desired a lot of times with Randy's at-bats. And then obviously we know what his defense is like in left field. So pitch is fouled off. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes from Jack Dreyer to Harry Ford. Bottom of the 6th, 3-2 Mariner lead. Well, if the game ends off with 8-9-1, then one of those 3 guys will get a hit, and then Cal Raleigh would have a chance at the 2 spot to be able to, get that big home run or that big RBI. Three-two pitch. And Ford crushes it into center field. Back to the warning track and into the dirt and caught for out number 3. Nice job by Jack Dreyer retiring the side. 3-2 Mariner lead as we go to the top of the 7th inning. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Dodgers in the top of the 7th inning. Leading off for the Dodgers, 0 for 2, the former San Francisco Giant left fielder Michael Conforto. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, getting a chance to play today in game number 2, right fielder Alex Call. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run and a K, a great defender and a pretty good hitter for the Dodgers. Game in and game out, Miguel Rojas. They still got Logan Evans out there, getting some experience here in the pen. First pitch by Conforto fouls it back to the T-Mobile bricks. 0-1 count. Logan Evans on the mound, Michael Conforto in the box. And it's awesome to be able to see Logan Evans. I mean, it's just not fair to have, Emerson Hancock on the roster in the pen and an emergency pitcher and not Logan Evans. Now, we know Logan wasn't really able to figure out how to win on the road, but he was good at home. And if you remember, he had that one game where he went like 8 innings. He had one of the best games out of any Mariner pitcher in like 2 years. And what did they do? They sent him down to AAA, which was not ideal. And we went on a losing streak after that. So nice to be able to see him make his way back up on the team. And Conforto pops up, and Jesus Christ, the laziest guy on planet Earth. Randy could have caught that and just decides to pump the brakes and then walk over and let that ball land right in front of him. No one is more frustrating in baseball than Randy Arozarena. He got to be the goddamn laziest left fielder I have ever seen. Like, have you ever heard of a dive? Golly. Julio sacrifices his body. Victor sacrificed his body for half of the fucking season. And then you get someone like Randy that just doesn't fucking care. It's brutal. I can't wait for the day where he's not on the team anymore. I'm just, again, I like two-way players, and I get it. Some guys are going to be better at defense and some guys are going to be better at offense. And it's rare to get someone that cares about offense and defense together. But, well, Harry Ford almost with a sliding catch there. But no one aggravates me more than Randy Arozarena. And we know Gino and Polo sometimes are liabilities at second and third, but Randy is the laziest. doesn't hustle, right? Lets ground balls, just kind of jogs. And then when he gets the ball in his hands, right, sometimes he drops it. Or if he throws it into the infield, he never throws a laser. It's always one of these. Like, what is that? You're a professional. This isn't fucking high school ball. Frustrating. I mean, if we end up going to the playoffs, right, which we have already made it with a bye, and if we get, a lot of balls that are hit to Randy's area, we might lose for that single fact. Because again, if it's a pop-up, we might be okay. Maybe half of the time. But if it ends up being like a line drive laser and it goes to the wall, doubles will turn into triples because he's lazy. Popped up. And down goes call. Julio Rodriguez, he ain't lazy. 1 away. And down goes Alex Call with that pop-up. Next up is Miguel Rojas. I mean, at some point, we'll get Lazaro Montes. He's in the farm system. He plays right field. So if we could move like Victor Robles to left, Julio to center, and in the future, Lazaro Montes in right, we could maybe do something like that. But I don't know, man. I mean, he's got to be the worst, defender in the outfield in MLB. I don't think I've seen anyone worse than him this year. Just pure no effort. And the thing is, it's not like he's fat, and it's not, it's not like he's like, overweight, like he's athletic. It's just pure no effort. Doesn't care, like maybe thinks he's bigger than the game. Thinks maybe he's bigger than Julio and Victor. You're not. You're replaceable. Like, we all love you, Randy Land, but fuck, man. Enough is enough. 0-2 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes from Evans to Rojas. I mean, it's like every fucking game. Like, have we even gone one game without bitching and moaning about something that he fucking did or not did in left field? Like, I don't think there's been a game where he's gotten off scot-free. There's been at least one fuck up every game in left field. Brutal. I mean, and maybe that was acceptable on the Tampa Bay Rays, but that shit is not fucking going to fly over here in Seattle. Pitches low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Miguel Rojas. Check swing. Did he go? And that is strike 3. Down goes Miguel Rojas. Next up, third baseman, Kike Hernandez. He may not have a great batting average during the regular season, normally around 180 to 200, but he'll really start to rip it up and turn it on at the end of the year and going into the postseason. He was the hero yesterday with a 2-run blast, and we have to make sure we limit the damage with Kike. He's a utility player that can play more positions than any player on the Dodgers. And again, kind of like a Dylan Moore for us based off his role, but just better player, especially in the postseason. Pitch fouled off on a 1-0 count. Goes into right field. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kike Hernandez. And Kike crushes it into right field, and that one drops. And Dominic Canzone is there. Obviously not as good of a defender as Victor Robles. And now we got runners at first and third with 2 outs. Come on, Logan. Rushing in the box. Wild pitch there, and that's going to bring a run. Jesus Christ. Come on, Logan Evans. Come on, Harry Ford. Christ, and the game is tied up 3-3 off a wild pitch. And that's going to happen when you end up having faces of the future. You know, Harry got his first chance at catcher, but obviously Logan Evans not doing anybody any favors there with something like that. And Harry did his best to try to deflect that, but that's not what you want to see here late in the game. And now we're tied up at 3. 1-0 pitch. And Rushing crushes that one into right field with a laser foul. And the Dodgers have retaken the Uncle Mo, the momentum back with that wild pitch. Come on, Logan. Do your job. Come on, Harry. Do your best. Obviously, it's not easy being a catcher. Pitches low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Evans to Rushing. Pitches high and away. Should have been called ball, but called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Evans to Rushing. Let him know, TJ. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Evans to Rushing. Three-two pitch. And a little slow dribbler there. Grab it. Throw to first. And we finally get out number 3. But not after that Logan Evans wild pitch to Harry Ford ends up bringing in a run there late. And now we're tied up at 3 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And hopefully we can make up for that error by Logan Evans. Next up for the Mariners, the best left fielder defensively in the game, Randy Arozarena. In the box, he's 2 for 3 today, so at least he's got that going for him. Batting second, 0-3 with a run in 2K. 60 home runs, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a run, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. This would be a great time for a Julio solo or 2-run jack. Right ends up. Let's go, M's. Gained 9 more subs since we last checked. We went from 88 to 79. Now we only need 79 more subs to hit 22,400. So we've gained 30 today. Let's see if we can get to 40 or 50 before the stream ends. And we're at 10 on the Dono train, 90 to go. And let's see if we can hit 300 likes with 500 in the room before the stream ends. And obviously that'll take all of the regulars in the room as well as the lead mods. And if we can get, these 500 people that are in the room, we can get at least half of those people that haven't hit the like button yet. We should be able to hit 3 to 350. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-3 Dodgers and Mariners. Blake Trinan in the matchup for the Dodgers. All right, Blake Trinan on the mound and Randy Arozarena in the box. Come on, Randy. Blake Trinan just entered the matchup for the Dodgers on the mound. First pitch by Randy Arozarena, fouls it off. Into right field, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Trinan to Arosarena. Yeah, usually for me, I'll just try to find the best HD 4K photos, whether it be like a Safeco Field photo that I usually use for the thumbs, an older one, or using one of the newer backgrounds for obviously this photo with T-Mobile Park. So just kind of depends on what the sky looks like as well, if there's like a sunset or like a good morning photo. So sometimes depending on what the photo looks like, sometimes I'll even tap into some nostalgia with some of the older things that we've had in the past, like Safeco Field. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-3 Dodgers and Mariners. Blake Trinan on the mound, Randy Arosarena in the box. 1-2 pitch to Randy. Pitches inside on the corner, but doesn't get the call, which is rare because that normally is the call that you're getting from the ump in this series. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arosarena. Appreciate you. And Randy with a slow dribbler up the middle to make up for his lazy defense in left field. And that's the 3rd hit for Randy Arosarena here tonight. 3 for 4 day in the box. If we could only get him to go 3 for 4 on a consistent basis, that would be great. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, sitting at 60 home runs. He's running out of at-bats to tie Aaron Judge. It doesn't look like he's going to more than likely break Judge's record, but he will have a chance to tie it if he can homer either here, the last at-bat, if it goes longer than 9 innings, and then he'll have 4 or 5 opportunities tomorrow if he plays, which I assume he will catch tomorrow. I mean, it would be great if he can hit 1 today and 1 tomorrow and tie Judge. Best case scenario, hit 1 today, 2 tomorrow, and get 63 and break Judge's record. But who knows if that actually could happen. I mean, we know with Schwarber, Cal, Ohtani, and Judge, anything is possible in 2025. And the best part about it, all 4 of them are doing it clean. 0-1 pitch from Trinan. Big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Cal calls time. Griffey wants it. Let's go. (0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And down goes big dumper on strikes. Nice punch out there by Blake Trinan, giving the Dodger fan base a little bit of electricity after getting that wild pitch to score from third. And now they have the momentum here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. And if there was ever a time that we needed Julio with a solo dinger or a 2-run jack in this case, it would be right now. 267 average, 32 homers, 95 ribbies. He joined the 30-30 club with 2 stolen bags today. And hopefully Julio can get something here. A single, double, triple, an RBI, ground rule double. The best case scenario would be a 2-run jack to get us a 5-3 lead. Let's go, J-Rod. Pitch timer violation on the first pitch, which is rare. That's happened to 2 of our batters today. And that's kind of odd to have it happen in the first pitch to start off. But, it is what it is. Takes a strike looking on that second pitch. Now it's an 0-2 count. 0-2 pitch from Trinan. And big swing and a miss. Down goes Julio on a slight foul tip, but it went right into the catcher's mitt, and that is 2 away. Another great punch out there by Trinan. And next up, the hero so far for us with a 3-run jack, Jorge Polanco. Can you multi-homer in a game? We need you, Polo. Throw to first, safe. (245 likes. 55 more to get to 300. Let's get there. Pitch in there for a strike to Jorge Polanco. 0-1 count. Andy in the building. What's good? 0-1 pitch. Shows bunt. And Randy's in there. Safe. Feet first. I mean, if we could only get Randy to be a complete player, stealing bags, getting hits, blasting home runs, and actually being a great defender in left field. But we got a runner in scoring position now. Mookie Betts and Randy having a conversation. They're at second base. Chopping it up. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-3 Dodgers and Mariners. Runner at second with 2 outs. Come on, Polo. See if we can get a big home run or a big RBI here. Polo pops it up, and that's behind the plate, foul. Yeah, the Mariners usually do some pretty cool 4th of July giveaways, and they've done this giveaway was 2 years ago when we beat the Orioles when they were a playoff team. And then this year they had another like trucker style hat, which was pretty cool that I haven't wore on the stream yet. But that one was against the Pirates when Cal homered twice, Randy homered, and even Dylan Moore homered on that game when we beat the Pirates on the 4th of July, which is kind of a tradition for me and my best friend to go every year. As Trinan gets Polo striking out swinging, and we leave Randy stranded at second. And let's go to the top of the 8th inning in a good one here. We're tied up at 3. See who's up next for the Dodgers here in the top of the 8th. Next up for the Dodgers, filling in for Shohei Ohtani, 0 for 3 with a K, Tommy Edman. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a K, shortstop Mookie Betts. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a base on ball, first baseman Freddie Freeman. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Yeah, we've had 2 violations on the first pitch, which is kind of suspect. Umping hasn't been the greatest, but it hasn't been the worst. Typically when we play the Yankees and the Astros and a few other teams, it's very, very lopsided, like, 80-20 or 90-10. There's been a few pitches that have been called strikes, balls, and ball strikes, just like in any game. Expanded strike zone is something that you're seeing, lately from quite a few umps. But to be able to get a violation on the first pitch with 2 different guys, I don't know. That seems a little sketchy, if you ask me, since we've barely had that happen to us ever, in the season. And then normally when you're going to have a violation, it's not going to be on the first pitch, like before the first pitch even comes in. It's usually like in the middle of the at-bat. So I don't know what this ump has got against Seattle, but, it is what it is. Logan Evans is still out there. First pitch, 0-1 count, as that one is a cutter off speed, 85 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off. Big sweeper there by Logan Evans. No balls and 2 strikes from Evans to Edman. 0-2 pitch, slow dribbler there, throw to first, and that is 1 away. Let's go, Logan. Finish strong. Next up for Logan Evans in the pen, shortstop Mookie Betts. Top of the 8, 3-3, Dodgers and Mariners. Yeah, Seattle and Los Angeles would be crazy. You know, my dad's been a Dodger fan since the 50s, so, and I've been a Mariner fan for 40 plus years. So, I mean, between the two of us, we're, 100 plus years of fandom between the two of us. And, there's a lot of history, obviously, with Dodger baseball. And, this is the first time that we've won the AL West in 24 years. And, we've really only had 5 good years in the last 40. You guys have playoff years every year. So, we don't take it for granted here in the Pacific Northwest, and we'll see what happens. Michael with a $5, appreciate you, as Mookie flies out to center, and that is 2 away. Stacks, Rex with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Another $5 on the Dono train. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. But I was blessed, to be able to meet Ken Griffey Jr. when I was 7, before he actually played his first professional game. Met him and Ken Griffey Sr., got autographs and photos and handshakes. And then when I was 10, I got to meet Sandy Koufax, arguably the best left-handed pitcher to ever pitch besides Randy Johnson and Steve Carlton. So, to be able to meet Ken Griffey Jr. and Sandy Koufax, 2 of the best lefties in their positions of all time, it definitely molded me into the man that I am today. And if I didn't meet those people, who knows? Maybe I don't have the channel today, and have the passion for sports like I do. So it definitely was a groundbreaking moment for me at 7 and 10 years old. And I don't regret it. And it almost feels like it was yesterday when I met the 2 of them. Freddie Freeman to first. And next up is Andy Pages. Let's go, Logan. Finish strong. First pitch takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Well, I mean, 95, 97, 2001, 2022, and 2025. So if you're adding it up, it's 5. I mean, there's been other years where we've had good players, but we couldn't get it done. Like, it's sad that, Felix Hernandez never got to experience the postseason, as far as one of our elite players that never got a chance. But I mean, those are the main years that we were significant. 95, 97, 2001, 2022, and now 2025. But we made the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 years. And we could, in this, 20-year run, make the playoffs, let's say, for example, 12 or 13 times out of 20 years. And out of those 12 or 13 times between now and 2042, maybe we'll make a World Series or 2 and hopefully maybe win one. So. And Pages crushes it into left field. Back at the dirt and caught. And look at that. Randy Arosarena says, look at me. I can play defense. And that is out number 3. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th and see who's up next here for Seattle. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with a K, sitting at 49 home runs. Can he get to number 50? Good vibes only. Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a base on ball, right fielder Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a double, first baseman Luke Rayleigh. Right hands up, let's go M's. Well, Evans got called up for Casey Legomina this morning. So again, we're trying to rest a lot of our guys. So after Gilbert came in, we're having Evans pitch 3 innings. And I don't know about you, but I would rather have Logan Evans than, Casey Legomina and even some of the other guys. Like, I don't really trust Caleb Ferguson. I think Logan could do better than Emerson Hancock in the pen, and we'll see where it goes. But we're not really playing for anything in these last 3 games. I mean, besides pride and obviously trying to break records individually for our guys, Dodgers and Mariners. Like Julio got 2 stolen bags to join the 30-30 club. We're still waiting on Cal to try to get 2 home runs to tie Judge, tomorrow. And obviously, Gino is stuck at 49 home runs, and we're trying to get him to 50. So, obviously we lost yesterday. Kike Hernandez ended up being the hero, but it's not like either team is playing their best players every game. It's not the best lineup or the best pitching rotation. It's kind of like, we're playing each other, but I wouldn't go as far as saying it's a spring training game. I wouldn't go that far. It is a real game, but you're just not getting the best opportunities for each team with their best players and best lineups in these first 2 games. And that will continue until tomorrow as well. First pitch to Gino, high and inside, 1-0 count. And Vesia is in the lineup now for the Dodgers. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. One pitch into the dirt by Vesia. 2 balls and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. Two-one pitch. Big swing and a miss by Gino. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Sitting at 49 home runs. Needs 1 more in these last 2 games to get to 50. Two-two pitch. High and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. See if Alex can get the punch out here or if Gino will find a way. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Gino. And a great pitch there by Vesia, and that is 1 away. Next up for Alex Vesia, Dominic Canzone. First pitch to Canzone fouls off into the bricks behind the plate. 0-1 count. Check swing. Did he go? And it looks like he does. No balls and 2 strikes from Vesia to Dominic Canzone. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and another punch out from Alex. He's given the Dodger fans the electricity they need here late. And last but not least, for the Mariners, possibly here in the 8th, will be Luke Raley. Big swing and a miss by Luke. And it kind of feels like we're going through the motions now. I mean, again, we still want to be able to try to win this game. And for whatever weird reason, if we end up getting Mariners, Dodgers in the World Series, whoever wins this series gets home field advantage. So Dodgers already won game 1. So we need to win today and tomorrow for that particular thing to give us home field advantage if both teams were to make it to the World Series against each other. So I guess one thing that we're playing for, even though it's not, to get into the playoffs or to get this seed, they're a wild card team. We got the bye. So things are already kind of set in stone, but there's still other things to play for. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Rayleigh. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Vesia to Luke Rayleigh. One-two pitch, big swing and a miss, and he strikes out the side. Alex giving you that electricity that all the Dodger fans want and need, including my dad at home. All right, let's go to the top of the 9th inning, and we'll see what we have here for the Dodgers. Next up for the Dodgers, 1 for 3 with a run, left fielder Michael Conforto. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a K, right fielder Alex Call. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a run and 2 Ks, second baseman Miguel Rojas. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah, you can get anything, food-wise, outside of the stadium, in the stadium. They got a very wide variety, covering pretty much every race of person on planet Earth. You'll be able to find something that you like at the ballpark, especially within the last few years. They've expanded their menu tremendously. Top of the 9th, 3-3, Dodgers and Mariners. Andres Munoz making opportunity here for the Mariners, even though that we're tied and we're not trying to go for the win, so to speak. First pitch from Munoz to Conforto, high and away. 1-0 count. Munoz on the mound, Conforto in the box. Big swing and a miss on a 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Munoz. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs here in the top of the 9th. We're knotted up at 3. Pitch is low and at the knees into the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike to Michael Conforto. Two-one pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Michael Conforto. 3-1 pitch, high and inside, and this is not the good Mooney, and that's a walk, and that's not ideal. Michael Conforto to first. Next up is Alex Call. Hopefully we can get a slow dribbler up the middle for a double play to limit the damage. A strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. First pitch from Munoz to Call. Low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Come on, Munoz. I mean, maybe half of the team is treating this as an exhibition and the other half are actually trying to win, but no, it wasn't ideal for Evans to have that wild pitch to bring home that run, and we already lost yesterday. You know, we want to make sure that we're going into the playoffs with a week off, like on a good note. You know, we don't want to go on a 3-game fucking losing streak after going 17-1 in the 18 games, dropping 3 in a row, having 5 days off, and then getting our ass kicked in the fucking playoffs. Like, we got to try to play a little bit better here. Let's go. Focus. And hopefully, you know, there'll be plenty of time spent with each other, you know, batting practice, going through the regular routine. You know, the last thing that we want to do is be flat, you know, in that first game in the playoffs. 2-0 pitch to call. That's a good one, finally. After, you know, his 8th or 9th pitch, he finally get a good one there with that 4-seam fastball. Nice heater right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Mooney to call. Top of the 9th with a runner at first with no outs. We need a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. Pitch is fouled off into right field. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Alex Call. Come on, Mooney. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We got 651 in the room. We're just trying to get to 300. I mean, with the amount of people we have in the room, we should be able to get to 4, but we will see. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Alex Call. Three-two pitch. And another walk. And when's the last time we've seen Mooney walk back-to-back hitters? This is not ideal. I mean, we're on the brink of having a meltdown and losing this game. And obviously, we play early tomorrow. Obviously, I'll be watching the Bucks and the Eagles at 10 a.m., 3-0 and 3-0 in Tampa. And this game will start around noon. So we'll do the Dodger Mariner stream while I watch the back end of the Eagles and Bucks. And then after the Mariner stream is over around 3:30, around 5:15, 5:20, we'll do Sunday Night Football stream also. We'll do 2 tomorrow, and that'll be the Packers and the Cowboys. Micah Parsons making his return to Dallas. It'll give us NFL fans to catch up after all the action. First pitch to Rojas is low and away, 1-0 count. Andres Munoz having a meltdown here. Already walked the first 2 guys. We're tied up at 3. Logan Evans had the meltdown that brought in the wild pitch. Runner from third home when we were up 3-2. Bunt attempt. And that goes behind the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Miguel Rojas. Rojas in the box. Andres Munoz on the mound. Top of the 9th inning, runners at first and second with no outs. Bunt attempt again. And fouled at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Miguel Rojas. Come on, Mariners, finish strong. Yeah, Cleveland won with the walk-off hit batter. I saw that. And I would rather have the Guardians make the playoffs than the Astros any day. So, 1-2 pitch. He's got the speed, but his location is just off. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Miguel Rojas. And obviously the Dodger, players are being patient in the box, which they should when they are noticing a meltdown. You don't want to overly swing, and give a guy an opportunity to get the count back in his favor when he's having a meltdown. Pitch fouled off himself by Rojas. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second with no outs. We're tied up at 3 here in game number 2. And the last game of the regular season and the last game on Root Sports will be tomorrow as they shift over to Mariners TV through MLB Network. And we'll see if they end up having a fancy name attached or not. Little slow dribbler towards first. Toe tap on the bag. runners advance to second and third with one away. Next up, one of the more dangerous hitters for the Dodgers in the postseason. He might be a 180 to 200 hitter in the regular season, but never doubt him. Utility player, third baseman Kike Hernandez. And I was lucky enough to get my first MLB ball from Kike, foul ball that hit into my area in 2019. And Kike, and look at that, Randy, lazy as hell in left field. And the reason that we're going to lose because of Randy Arozarena. What's new? Any type of ball that gets hit in Randy's area, he's lazy, he doesn't try, and Kike Hernandez makes the Dodgers winners again and makes the Mariners pay again. I would like to say I'm surprised, but, you know, I'm very aware of Kike's greatness and him doing the damage again. 5-3 Dodgers, and Randy out of position, lazy as usual. Dodgers coming up with a big win here in the top of the ninth. I mean, it's not officially over yet, but, you know, based on momentum and with one out, you know, chances are this one is 99% over. Great job, Mooney. You fucking blew it. I did say that early in the game. If any balls go to Randy, we're fucked in the playoffs. You know, because singles turn into doubles, doubles turn into triples. And if there was a guy that was able to get a triple, he probably would get an inside the park home run. I just never have seen an all-star player so fucking lazy. You know, not only on his attempts with pop-ups and ground balls, but, you know, throwing it into the infield. Never throws it with a laser throw. It's always like a lob, like we're playing a fucking exhibition game. It's fucking maddening. And Julio gets that out as the runners tag up. And at least somebody's trying out there, and it is the Dodgers. Kike sliding into third, safe. And now we have two away with Mooney on the mound with another meltdown, which is not ideal. But at least both of these teams are already in the playoffs, and we're really playing for, you know, one thing is if these two teams make the World Series, if the Dodgers end up winning this game in the series, which it looks like, they will have home field advantage over the Mariners. And then for Mariner players, you know, we're trying to break some records with Cal and with, you know, Gino. Slow dribbler, little flip to Eugenio Suarez. No. To Andres Munoz, and that is out number 3. But not after Kike Hernandez comes up with the big 2-run RBI, and now it's 5-3 Dodgers. Oh, I got all kinds of positivity, but I got to keep it real. You know, when we have a liability in the outfield, I mean, we don't really have very good defenders in left field or at third or at second with Polo, Gino, or Randy. So, I mean, is there a chance that we could still come back and tie it up? Yeah. I mean, there is a chance, you know, but based on how this game has gone and not having our strongest lineup, and especially not having Josh Naylor in the lineup, you know, you have to be realistic. So, I mean, I hope we end up coming back and going into extras, but it's going to take a hell of an effort. And honestly, I'm more positive than any other fucking YouTuber that does baseball overall. That's facts. Next up, 1 for 3 with a K. Shortstop, Leo Rivas. Batting second, catcher, Harry Ford. And batting third, potentially trying to make up for his meltdown in left field, Randy Arozarena. I mean, he's 3 for 4 today. But again, if you were actually a good defender in left, maybe we're sitting at a 3-3 tie right now. So, but that's how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Yeah, and then hopefully we can win tomorrow, you know, for the last game on Root Sports, just to go in with a positive note, you know, into the postseason. The last thing you want to do is go 17-1 in 18 games and be the hottest team in baseball and then drop 3 in a row to the Dodgers. And again, the Dodgers are a great team. You know, we were hoping to win 2 out of 3, but realistically thought maybe 1 out of 3, but we didn't also know, like, who's playing. who's not playing. And obviously both teams have not started their best lineups in these first two games, but obviously one team has been more clutch than the other, and that is the Los Angeles Dodgers. First pitch to Leo Rivas, fouled behind the plate, 0-1 count. Well, if both teams weren't already in the playoffs, then the intensity would be, at the very peak, but both teams have already got their slots. So there's no movement. The Dodgers are a wild card team. Mariners got the bye. So, and there's not really anything to play for unless we're talking about if these two teams make the World Series. And then, if you win 2 out of 3, then the Dodgers get home field advantage over the Mariners. But, everything else is just pretty much for pride, getting a W in the win column, and then people trying to break individual records, like Cal Raleigh getting to 62, obviously Julio trying to join the 30-30 club, and obviously he got 2 steals today, so he ended up doing that, and we're still 1 home run away from Gino from getting 50. So, and there's a few other stats that we're trying to do as Leo Rivas strikes out swinging on 3 pitches, and that is 1 away. Still love you, Leo. Next up, making his first start at catcher for the Mariners in 2025, Harry Ford. Got his first hit for the Seattle Mariner organization earlier today as well. 1 for 3 with a K. First pitch inside from Henriquez to Harry Ford, 1-0 count. Got to win tomorrow. Bottom of the 9th, 5-3 Dodger lead. Henriquez on the mound. Harry Ford in the box. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. If we're really being honest and real, we got a good home field advantage, but if we played, like the Phillies, the Brewers, or the Dodgers in the World Series, there's a good chance that, we could get swept or maybe only win 1 game. We would have to hope that we can win 2 or more, but there's no guarantee, especially if you, make it there for the very first time, and you play against a team that's been there or that's playing better than you at that moment. So we know the Phillies and Dodgers have the playoff experience. Brewers, not so much, even though the Brewers have been great at home and on the road this year. But can the Brewers and the Cubs, make a deep run with lack of playoff experience lately? We'll find out. And obviously, the playoff experience will benefit the Dodgers and the Phillies the most. Obviously, Padres have had some injuries as of late. So, they don't look like a team that's going to make it. And then I don't assume the Mets or the Reds will be able to go on a deep run either. So, but you never know. That's why we love baseball. Ford crushes that into left field in the upper deck, foul. But we'll see between the Blue Jays, Mariners, and Yankees. And then obviously you have the Red Sox, the Guardians, in as well as the Tigers. And obviously Tigers were great at the beginning of the year, but hit a fucking wall. And then the Guardians got super hot late. And, the best thing about everything in the playoffs, the Astros are not involved. 3-2 pitch to Harry Ford. Big swing and a miss, and that is 2 away. And again, Kike Hernandez being the hero in back-to-back games, and it shows you, you can have a utility player that's bat 180 to 200, but again, he ain't Dylan Moore. He's Kike Hernandez, and he always comes up big in the postseason and usually late in the year, at the very end of the season, and this year is no different. Kike getting the big 2-run home run yesterday and the big 2-run RBI here late to potentially win both games for the Dodgers here, unless we get a miracle out of the laziest left fielder in the game, Randy Arozarena. I can't wait until Lazaro Montes is ready, and then maybe we can move Victor Robles in left, Julio in center, and Lazaro Montes in right. I don't know. Like I said, I like his hitting, and I think he's got a pretty cool personality overall based on interviews that I've seen, but I just got no fucking patience for someone that is lazy and doesn't care about defense. It's like, I get it. You've been an all-star in Tampa. You made the all-star, game with us, but unexcusable laziness in left field. 0-2 pitch. And that is strike 3 and game over. Congratulations to my dad and the Dodger fan base. That was a big win. Kike Hernandez being the hero in back-to-back games. I wish I would be surprised, but I'm not. My first foul ball at a Mariner game was from Kike Hernandez in 2019. And then I ended up getting a rookie year Julio foul ball and an Aaron Judge ball when he hit the 62 home runs. So Kike has always been a little special to me and my dad. Obviously, getting a ball from him as a foul ball against the Mariners in 2019 in the first inning. And I've always followed his career very closely since that happened. Final score, Dodgers 5, Seattle Mariners 3. And again, we have the last game on Root Sports tomorrow. And we have to get a win. It's a must-win game tomorrow. Again, obviously the Dodgers have already won the series, but let's see if we can get to, win number 91, which would be ideal. And again, we want to make sure we're going in with a win rather than going in with a fucking sweep, from the Dodgers. And obviously the Dodgers are an amazing team, even though their second half of the season hasn't played out maybe to their liking, but they're getting, into the right rhythm at the right time. And hopefully tomorrow will be the Mariners' day. So love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And again, shout out to Sarah, Ricardo, and Michael for the Dono Love. Thank you for all the individuals that have subbed to the channel. And again, let's see how many subs that we have gained since I last checked. Looks like we gained another 5. And let me see where we are at. All right, 76 subs to go to 22,400. Shout out to all the mods and all of the regulars on trying to be able to get a lot of these individuals to hit the like button and whatnot. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Final score, Dodgers 5, Mariners 3, and I will be live tomorrow for the finale that is around noon Pacific tomorrow. I'll be watching Bucks and Eagles at 10 a.m. That should be a must-see TV on the NFL side if you're an NFL fan. And then we also will be doing a second stream after Dodgers Mariners. We'll be doing Sunday Night Football between the Packers and the Cowboys. And I got one question for you. Who talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Go Abs.